everybody? Welcome back to the Savage Land. Welcome back to another episode of Straight Savage, where we have a special guest today. I've been talking about this guy for a couple of weeks now. Great 3D prints. We actually have consumed some of his product. Well, at least one of us, Seagram 7, because he consumes everything that is G.I. Joe related. But with no further ado, Seagram 7, man, what's going on with you?
Yo, what's good, man? Yeah, let the fans know I'm an addict, man. I appreciate it. I think we've already established we classified crazy over here, bro. So we one and the same, baby.
Hey, so man, how was your Thanksgiving, man? On this Thanksgiving post day?
Man, it was probably one of the nicest Thanksgivings I've had in a while, man. My mom and her husband came down from Greensboro, and they spent the night at Casa Graham. And my brother, he lives out the Outer Banks, which is like a four hour drive from here. And he came and he spent the night too. So had a lot. Then had my three kids over. My daughter, she's 28, and my two sons, and my son's girlfriend from college. So we had a full house, man.
Nice, man. That's always good, man. Not only is Thanksgiving about the meal, it's about the camaraderie of family, the togetherness. I actually had to host this year myself, and had about 17, 18 people over at one time, kind of cleared the living room out. It was cool, man. Everybody ate. We had enough. I just actually finished eating like one of my third plates, but back in the day, man, I'd be sitting munching on that shit for a couple of days, but that's tomorrow. It's done.
Gone.
It's over with in my eyes, man. But we're going to bring out our special guest on Straight Savage, GI Customs. We've been talking about him for a couple of weeks. I just literally had to ask him his name while he was backstage. But today is the day that we learn about him, just like I am. And just learn about what he's about, man, and see what it's all about as far as his product. So with no further ado, we have Chaz from GI Customs.
How you doing, fellas? Thanks for having me on.
What's going on, brother?
What up?
Appreciate it, man. We glad to have you on. Tonight, I told Seagram 7, I said, I'm gonna let you lead the way on the questions with your boy Savage chiming in and watching the time. We're gonna have gonna be a little bit over an hour talking about GI Customs as far as his 3D products and things of that nature, man, and just really seeing what he's about. As far as what I've seen so far, it's great. And man, the awesome thing about it, man, he took constructive criticism on things we talked about, and that's what this game is about. Not getting in your feelings. Actually, the love of the game. If you got the love of the game and the love of the sport in your heart, you're gonna be shooting free throws all night. You're gonna be shooting jumpers all night, and that's what it takes, to get to where you need to be. So, Chaz, brother, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. We hung out went over to my sister's house. She's got 5 kids. So it was full of kids there, but also had my parents there. So it was a good time.
Nice.
And we all kids at heart around here. So you was probably right at home then.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right.
We y'all ready to do this? Get into
it. So basically, Seagram, man, I'm gonna let you lead the way with the questions, man. We're gonna start from the rooter to the tutor and go into the product, and I'll just be kind of sitting back, man, chiming in and actually be able to be like behind the scenes and actually, do the things I need to do, man. So, hey, my brother, the floor is yours right now.
Well, I appreciate that because I wanted to share something with you real quick. My son tried to play me, my youngest son, Julian, he's 12 years old. And I caught your most recent show with Evil Dookie. Really great show, man. That was a great episode. I really enjoyed seeing somebody else from the 910. But I was sitting there watching it earlier today and laid back in my big old chair, posted up, chilling. And my son comes in and he sits down for a minute, starts watching, and then he starts laughing. And I look over at him. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Dad, you got fired, didn't you?" I'm like, "What you mean, man?" He said, Ain't this Mike who usually on TV with? Would he fire you for somebody else?" So now I got my get back with Julie. Now I can show him this episode and show him I'm running the table today. So appreciate that.
Hey, nah, man. At the end of the day, we all do this for our hearts, man. No doubt. No doubt.
Well, Chaz, man, I'll tell you how we came across you. I was, we live, eat, and sleep this GI Joe thing, and I was watching videos, and I came across your Tomahawk series. You recently did a 4-part series showing the beginning and taking us through the stages of your Tomahawk, and that it has always been like when I think of a HasLab, it's supposed to be like a Grell or something that you're not going to get, like a dream project, and that's something that I've always hoped for was the Tomahawk that we get in classified. So when I saw your video, it really impressed me. Number one, and two, I thought it would really work well with what Savage does on his show. He really highlights people in the community that put in the work, that love the product. They do the customs, they do the toy photography, they do the world building, the dioramas. So that's how I came across your stuff, man. You're a very talented dude, so I appreciate you taking time to come on tonight with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So what we want to do first is start off and just find out a little bit about you, man. Like, where do you live? What kind of work do you do when you're not doing GI Joe customs? What kind of work do you do, bro?
Well, so I live in middle of Ohio, about an hour south of Cleveland, about an hour north of Columbus.
Okay.
So up where it's cold right now, I think it's about 28 degrees outside last time I looked. So it's been a cold day. Odd thing about what I do outside of this right now is nothing. This is my full-time job right now. Before this, immediately before this, I owned a Snap-on Tools franchise. So I was out there selling tools for the past 5-6 years, somewhere in that ballpark. Sold that about a year ago and kind of sold it with I know I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know what else I'm going to do, but our plan as a family was take 6 months off, spend the summer with my daughter and my wife, and be able to just hang out, family time, and then devise a plan from there. And we my wife and I ended up having a competition of who could get a job first, and she beat me to it, like a real life job. So I was like, all right, you're gonna do that. Like I can't sit around doing nothing. I can't do it. So yeah, one thing led to another, and here I am full time making GI Joe stuff.
Okay, well that's what's up. Now, did you grow up out there? Is that where you live currently? Is that where you grew up?
So yes, I grew up here, went to school, high school, everything here, and then ended up out in Indiana on a scholarship to Grace College for track. So I ran track out there, and then didn't really like what they were doing at that school as far as graphic design stuff. So I transferred out to the Art Institute and finished up my degree there. Okay. And that's where I met my wife and stuff out there in Indiana. And we spent about 15 years or so out there, and then moved back here when opportunity just randomly came up for a Snap-on thing. And I was like, I've never done that before, but I'm willing to roll the dice and give her a shot and see what's going on and be able to move back to family and stuff like that. And haven't looked back and don't regret a thing.
That's what's up, bro. So in one of our conversations before, you mentioned something about you had some kind of history in the toy industry. And now you just brought up that you have a background in graphic designing in the Art Institute. So can you tell us a little bit about that, man, and how that into all this?
So the Snap-on thing was total left field. It's the one thing that doesn't have anything to do with anything I've done or went to school with. So right after school, I actually got a job at Greenlight Collectibles. So we made die-cast cars. They still do. They've actually gotten a lot bigger since I left there. That was 04 to 09, somewhere in there. But I was production and product development manager. So I worked with factories over in China. I went over there a few times, Hong Kong and stuff. Toured different factories. Worked with licensors. I mean, I don't know how big they are now, but when I was there, I think there was a total of 11 or 12 people. So even though I was in charge of production, I did a lot of other things. So I had a degree in graphic design. So I led the design team when need be, and designed some logos and stuff there and did some things like that. So I've got a history in it, though it's been, maybe not quite, but coming up on 15, 20 years. So I guarantee things have changed, but some of the stuff they still do it basically the same way.
Well, that's interesting you say that because, AI has gotten so big recently in the last couple of years. I've heard, especially in the world of art and graphic designing. How do you feel about AI and how it has come into the world? Do you feel like it supplements graphic designing, or do you see it taking away people's work? And what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, both. I think it definitely supplements. I think it's going to be a good thing, but I think it's going to take, a team of 10 people and allow 2 people to do the same amount of work. I don't think at any point, not in the near future, is it going to replace an entire department and just like, oh, we don't need any designers anymore. We don't need any programmers anymore. You're done. I think it'll make the single individual person a lot more powerful with what they can get done in a certain amount of time. I mean, I use it on my site to upgrade all those images right after I heard you guys' podcast. I was like, all right, well, how do I do this? I'm not a fantastic photographer. Working on it, without going outside and trying to get on scene and stuff. I'm like, how can I do this? And type it into, I think I used Gemini was the one that came back with the best photos where I could at least tell it, hey, edit the background, but don't change the vehicle. Because I didn't want to put up pictures that weren't true to what the product was, assuming it was a product that I had printed. So
Right.
putting it in the background's cool, but I didn't want it to add stuff to it or to make it different, because then it's just a cartoon and it's not really what I'm selling.
Let me chime in right quick. I'm glad you said that, because I seen that. I was like, okay, the background looks AI, but the actual vehicle still looks like the real vehicle. But I was wondering, I was like, well, was the vehicle, AI. So people who go to his website, you see that big, fabulous background on there, but that's actually still the real 3D printed product that's in the shot. Because that's something I wondered myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would go back and forth with it a few times. They kept changing shit. And so it would change something. I'm like, nope, and try to adjust it. And then you'd have to close it out because they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Even just using that, you can tell pretty quick, like AI is not quite there yet. Yes, where anybody can type in and be like, go, done. It still needs some finessing and stuff, and it'll get better. I'm sure it already has.
Well, yeah, Savage, he's been really working with it, man. He's been taking photos, and then he'll, like in the background right now behind us, that's some work he's done. But it's really, I think, upped his storytelling. So I agree with you. I think I'm down the middle path. I think it definitely has its benefits. I really don't want to see people losing their jobs, but hey, the future's now.
I mean, I think the people that are watching and looking and paying attention won't lose their jobs because they'll figure out how to use it to make themselves above the other people around them. The people that are sitting back and being upset or having an attitude about it, they'll be the ones to go because they'll refuse to, just grow with the times.
Yeah, change with the times. Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. Well, hey, we got through that. Now let's get to the good stuff. So as far as collecting, when we talked the other day, you said that you've been collecting since you were a little boy, and you actually started off with the era, like the original G.I. Joe. Is that, you want to tell us a little bit about that and how you got into as a child?
Yeah. So I mean, I was collecting before I knew I was collecting, right? I was born in 82, so the same year G.I. Joe, Real American Hero started coming out. And from what I've heard and what's been told to me is I got those as gifts as like a newborn, that people, like friends and stuff, and my parents were giving them G.I. Joe. So I can't confirm that. I don't remember, obviously. So that's what I've been told. But I still have, that's the one toy out of all these toys that I had that I'm still seeing and remembering as a kid. If something comes up on a podcast or whatever, I'm like, oh shit, I had that. I couldn't have told you for anything that I did. But as soon as I saw it, it jogs memory. The only thing I still have are my G.I. Joes. And that's what started all of this. So all the classified, everything about, I don't know, a few months after I sold the Snap-on business, I got that box that I've been carrying around for 30 years of my old G.I. Joes. They're all in Ziploc bags and a little Rubbermaid container. And I got it out and I'm like, I just need to get rid of these. They're just taking up space. And as I was laying them out to take a picture, I was like, yeah, but these are cool. Like, I remember playing with this guy. I remember this guy. And my wife was there. I'm telling her. And she's like, are you sure you want to sell those? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put them up. So I listed them on Facebook, $500 for, I mean, it was probably, I think I got them up on the wall of it. I think it was close to 100 of them.
Okay.
And I was like, no, that's probably fine. And luckily, the first guy who messaged me was like, hey, man, you need to take those down. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, you got one in there worth $300 or $400 by itself.
Oh, wow. So
like,
they're still in good shape.
Like, they've all been played with. I'm like, they can't be worth more than a couple bucks. And sure enough, it was, I can't remember his name now. One of the Night Force characters that loose by himself with no accessories was $300. I was like, all right.
Wow.
So I took them down, and as I was kind of contemplating of, you know, should I list them separate? Should I go through and find values? It's like, you know what? Instead, and this is the part my wife didn't like, is instead of getting money, I'm going to spend money and buy cases and put them on the wall. So they went up on the wall right away. And then I was like, you know, I've seen these classifieds out there. I'm just going to get one. I'm just going to get one and set it on the shelf by these guys. And, I mean, you can see behind me, I didn't stop at one, and it's only been about a year. So I went hard deep.
So what was that first one, Chaz, that you got?
It was the 50th anniversary diver.
Oh, Torpedo.
Yeah, it's not even a real GI Joe name. It's the 50th anniversary diver.
Oh yeah, the all black diver. Yeah. What a great one.
Yeah, that is a great figure.
That like meant something to me. I was just like, oh, this one looks cool. When I saw it out, it's like, yeah, I'll get that one. And then it went crazy from there of, okay, well, since this one's cool, if I actually get ones I know the characters of, they're going to be that much cooler. So why not? Yep.
So let me understand this correctly. So 1 year ago, you didn't own a single classified figure.
Yep.
Is that what you're telling us? So 1 year ago, you were still working the Snap-on business and had no connection to classified at all.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of classified crazy. But so that's very interesting. So that was one of my questions I had for you, because a lot of us collectors, you know, we got into this as kids. We grew up with G.I. Joe. I was born in '80, so we grew up. I grew up with Star Wars and G.I. Joe, but ultimately G.I. Joe was my go-to toy. I played with it all the way up until I was like 12. It got to the point where my dad had to pull me to the side and like, son, I think you're a little too old for this. You need to quit playing with your G.I. Joes. So, you know, I finally took a break. And then when my oldest son was born in 2006, the 25th anniversary had just come out. I was just walking through Walmart and came across it. And it was the 5-pack. They had a 5-pack of Joes and a 5-pack of Cobras. And I was like, man, this is so awesome. I'm going to get my son into this, and I'm going to buy him one and buy one to put up of everything they make. And it just, man, I just went on a spending spree. Everything they made, I got. But he never really took to it. You know, he never really cared. He would like play with me, but I think he was just doing it because he wanted to spend time with dad. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, so I kind of dabbled in the 25th anniversary line and the 30th anniversary line, but it went away. I don't really consider myself collecting at that point. I was just kind of doing it as a father and son activity. And I finally got back into it when I heard about Classified, but I really wasn't buying toys. But I saw the Flint character, the first Flint character that came out, and did some research and saw they had like Outback, Storm Shadow, Spirit, and I was like, wow, these are just like the ones I grew up with. And that's when I dove into it really hard. So we were curious if you took a break from it or if you've always been collecting since you were a kid, because there are people that take a break and get back into it as an adult, and there are people that just collect all the way up, you know, from childhood on. So I find that pretty amazing, man, that you just got into it off instead of selling off, you bought into it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't the way I told my wife it would go, but here we are.
So what does she think of all this now? Does she
she's supportive. I mean, she's great with all of it. You know, she sits down here with me in the mornings, normal mornings, because I take care of my daughter and take her to school and stuff since she's working. I get up at like 4 a.m. so I can get like 3 hours of work in before anybody else even wakes up. Okay. So in the morning, my wife will be up before my daughter, and she comes down and sits with me. Some chairs behind me. She'll sit there and like hang out a little bit and talk to me. And, you know, every so often I'm like, oh, you see this? Like I did this. She's like, oh, okay. And you can tell like she's supportive, but she doesn't really understand, and that's fine. That's not her thing.
So how many figures are you up to now on your classified tally?
I don't know.
So are you collecting anything else?
Out of the whole line, I'm missing less than a dozen, like maybe 10 at like 0 to whatever they're up to now. I'm missing maybe a dozen.
Do you do any troop building? Do you do any troop building or army building?
Not really. I mean, I've seen Mike's stuff, so not like that level. I've got as far as my troop building, like maybe 3 of something.
Okay.
So and usually when I get that, it's not so much in my head for troop building as, well, I'm going to get 3 of these because I want to custom paint them 3 different ways that they haven't done yet or something. And sometimes that hasn't happened yet. So they're up on the shelf as, 3 Cobra Troopers or something like that. But in my head, it's always like, yeah, but I got plans for those guys to make them custom and have one of everything kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah, I always see people who troop build a bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really freaking cool. I'm like, yeah, but I barely have space for anything. Like get a new vehicle. I mean, we'll talk about it here in a bit. Like the stuff I'm printing. I mean, I got to keep it in pieces parts sometimes just to have it sitting somewhere.
Well, let's get into that. So you talk about that you've only been really collecting classified for about 6 months. Do I understand that correctly?
I mean, about a year.
About a year. Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as the 3D printing, how did you get into that? Did you get into that as you wanted to supplement your own collection, or was it because you saw it as a business opportunity, as a way to make money after your Snap-on business? After you got out?
No. When I first did it, it was actually the Devilfish. I saw that file somewhere, and I was like, I need one of those. I had one of those when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like I need to print one of those. And my mom at the time had a 3D printer, but it was old. It was 4 or 5 years old at the time. So it wasn't good. She didn't know what to do with it. Didn't know how to adjust it right. So I went over there one time. I'm like, yeah, I got this file. So I'd already bought the file. I'm like, yep, I got this file. I want to print it. Well, her printer wasn't big enough to print it. I was trying to slice it. Nothing was working, like everything. So I'm just like, all right. Like, well, if I want to print this stuff, I need a printer. So I bought the biggest printer enclosed, like like the best one I could get at the time. My theory is always, buy once, cry once.
Right.
Like I want something I can push the button and go. So it started 100% with, I just want this thing. So I'm going to spend all this extra money to get this thing. And then from there, like, I don't know, like, well, I just keep printing more stuff and didn't even think for a second that, hey, I can make money at this. I can sell this stuff. The 3D print stuff I've seen out there before then was dragons and, tchotchke kind of stuff you set on a kid's shelf somewhere. And then a year later, you're throwing it away. So I didn't even think that there would be a market for it. I actually started kind of at the same time I started painting some figures, because in my head I was like, well, I always wanted to customize these as a kid, and the classifieds have all this built-in detail that they just, from the factory, they just can't afford to put all that detail in there and still sell. So I was like, well, I can do that. Like I can paint. I know my way around that stuff. Like, let me just figure it out. And so I did a few, and then started posting them and getting just crazy comments in. And getting people saying, hey, how much? Like, can I buy this? And I'm like, no, like this is just for me on my shelf. Like, what are you talking about? And got enough of them. Like, all right, well, I'll paint you one. And it just kind of snowballed all of a sudden. Vehicles and stuff. I custom painted a Stinger to Tiger Force, and same thing. Just started getting all kinds of messages of, hey, I've got a Stinger. Like, can you paint mine? Can you paint mine? And it's like, yeah, and just did everything through PayPal and Facebook and messages, and it got confusing and everything. I'm like, no, like I need to, if I'm going to keep doing this, if it can have a future, like I've got to have a website. I've got to set this up right. Just doing Facebook and PayPal is sketchy at best, but confusing, hard to keep organized.
Hey man, you're doing a good job, man, because you're answering a lot of my next questions within the answer. So we're on the same page, man, because that was gonna be my next question. Was your name is GI Customs, but we're talking about 3D printing. So I was gonna ask you about how much customizing you do, but from your answer, it sounds like you do just as much customizing as 3D printing from the sound.
Yeah.
And I've seen that Tiger Force thing. It's official. It's like on Gun Buddy's level as far as his painting, so that he can paint.
That's a compliment right there, my friend.
Yeah. So yeah, most of my stuff I offer on my site just 3D printed. Like here, like I'll print the parts for you. You can have it. And the only reason I offered that was because I had requests for it. I have not sold one of those. Not even all the people requesting it. Like, hey, can I just buy the parts? I'm like, yeah, I'll put them up. Like, here you go. Nobody will buy it. So I leave them up there.
We saw that. I think in one of the videos where we were talking about your stuff, we saw that, and you do offer a nice discount for just buying it unpainted. I think, Mike, didn't we talk about that on one of the episodes?
Yeah. As far as the unpainted or painted versions.
So, as far as 3D printing, you've made it into a business, and you do the whole spectrum. You do stuff from figure stands all the way up to you do like the parts that are compatible with the defense post for the Cobra and GI Joe defense post, all the way up to a devilfish. You got a APC, you got the Tomahawk, you got a well, you got a Thunder Machine. What has, out of all the stuff that you print, what do you think has been the most popular item that you've gotten requests for or that you've printed from your catalog?
Right now, all the defense post stuff is what I get the most orders for, like number of orders. Vehicle wise, is the Tomahawk, and I know most of that is because I customized one, and all the pictures are out there of it being customized, and everyone sees it. And I've been, backpedaling the whole time of like, yeah, but I got all these other things printed. Like I just can't get to them to custom paint them for myself so that I can put pictures up, because I have so many customer orders coming in that I can't then stop. Like I've had an APC in winter paint scheme printed for probably 3 or 4 months. I'm waiting.
You really need to post this stuff, man. People would get a kick out of seeing this stuff, man.
I posted some. It's been a while. Like when I was first printing that, I posted some pictures. Okay. It's hard though, because some of it I can't fully assemble until it's painted. So if I fully assemble it, then some of it's next to impossible to take apart and then paint. Otherwise, like a lot of it. So all the big vehicles are all Steve's Toys designs. So they're on his site. You can go buy his files. They're somewhere between a couple $100 to $60 or whatever if you want to try to print them yourself. So that's why I don't really sell a lot of the print stuff, or I don't really want to, but I will. I have the rights for it. I bought the commercial rights from him. But all the bunker stuff, the things I just listed today for the snake armor, I taught myself how to 3D model. And I've been modeling all that stuff.
Yeah, I did see that today, man. That was pretty cool, that snake armor package. I was going to bring that up, man. That is a pretty cool idea. So, but out of that stuff, what was your favorite, Chaz? What's your favorite thing that you printed out of your catalog, buddy?
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I have access to that I haven't printed at all yet.
Okay.
But honestly, out of the stuff that I've printed, I think the Night Raven's going to be my favorite. I don't know how anyone's going to put that anywhere. I don't know how people are going to display it right now. I'm working on one for a guy in California. I'd love, once he gets it, I'm going to send him a message and be like, hey, show me how you display this. Like, are you hanging from the ceiling? Are you hanging on the wall? Are you got a shelf big enough for this thing? It's gigantic, but it looks really freaking cool from what I've seen so far. There's that one picture I just kind of placed everything together to kind of see how it all fit, made sure I had all the parts. That's as close to assembly as I got on that thing. Again, some of that stuff you got to glue together, at least in chunks, before it's ever going to actually stay together where I can take photos and stuff of it.
So that's the one that's like a black and yellow. He wants a black and yellow colorway, or is it?
So the black and yellow. So I was already printing the black, and I chose the yellow because in my head, I was like, well, if no one's going to order one of these, I'm going to print one.
Okay.
And that color seemed cool. I had that that filament in I just got. I was like, oh, this seems cool. It'd go really well with black, something different. I try to go different from what the originals were, just because it's more fun for me to, be creative with it and stuff. But right as I got done with that, he placed that order and was like, I want black. I'm like, all right, I'm already ahead on some of it for you, but he wants red interior with certain parts gray and all this, and then he wants it all custom painted. I was like, all right. Like,
so
I got most of that done already.
So he wants more of like the OG look then, correct? Isn't that how the OG was?
Yeah, I don't think he wants some more gray than the old one had. I think the old one was 100% black or red. I think those were the two colors, if I remember right, in that. Where he's basically going that, but he wants, I think it's like the jet engines are going to be gray. Some of the missiles and stuff are gray. So he just, I was like, hey, you're paying this much. Like, you tell me how you want it and what colors you want, and I'll print it however you want.
That's what's up, bro. Well, I got a few more questions for you, and then we'll get into the good part, the show and tell. But out of your collection right now that you've acquired, what's your favorite figure that you've gotten that you just is your go-to figure, man? What do you?
So my favorite figure, and it comes from when I was a kid, and I couldn't tell you why he was my favorite, but looking at him, I know that's the guy I played with all the time was Wetsuit. So much so that I painted a custom Wetsuit. It was one of my first full customs, taking apart several different figures and popping shoulders and stuff like that. And I painted my own and posted pictures and stuff of it. And then they just came out with the official Wetsuit. So that I'd still say that's my favorite. That's the one I've got that one actually on my desk here. So I've had that since I painted it.
That Wetsuit is one hell of a figure, man. I got him too, and man, I was so thankful because I was worried that they were, they already gave us Torpedo, then they gave us the diver that you're talking about in the all black, then they gave us the 2-pack, the ketchup and mustard, and they're all great figures in their own right, but it's pretty much the same thing. So I was really and the Cobra diver, they're all very similar. So I was worried that we were going to get the same thing with Wetsuit. So, man, I was just really thrilled when we got a whole new everything with Wetsuit, man. That is a great figure. So the last question, and then we'll get into the show and tell. What's next for GI Customs? Where do you see this going as a business? Is this like what you're going to be? Is this you trying to make this your full-time next Snap-on, or is this still just kind of a hobby? What do you see this going, or where would you like to see this go next?
Yeah, it's full time for me for sure until I get to a point where it doesn't work, and I'll figure out something else. But right now it's working well enough that I'm full steam ahead. Doing the YouTube thing, hopefully get some, if sales are down a little bit or whatever, maybe get some revenue from YouTube, different things. If nothing else, it's advertising, getting into that, trying to pull in different things from different areas. But what I'd like to do, and what I've been collecting a little bit of figures just for photos, is I want to branch out of G.I. Joe in the 6-inch scale. That's always going to be my collection. That's going to be where my stuff is. But I know there's customers out there for Black Series and Marvel Legends. So I want to start doing some. It's probably starting with different accessories and stuff that can be used for any of them. That maybe, diorama, little accessories that I can design or something like that. But I'd love to get into some more stuff that branches outside of G.I. Joe, just to bring in more customers and that base and kind of, expand parts of that site. I've kind of put myself in the corner a little bit with naming myself GI Customs because I didn't intend to go outside of G.I. Joe, but I don't think that'll deter anyone away if the product's there.
That's what's up, bro. I did have one other question I forgot about. If I can ask you, is that all right, Mike? If I get one more question in real quick.
No, do you think you're doing wonderful? To be quite honest with you,
I appreciate that, bro. So I've been a big Gridiron fan from day one. I love Gridiron. I spend a lot of money with Gridiron, man. I almost have a Gridiron addiction. But I know with you being a 3D printer, I know that you bought some of their stuff too, because I just seen the video the other day where you bought their package and you were trying to take the wheels off the All Striker. That was your video, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a Hound right back here. I love Gridiron stuff. It's fantastic.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to ask you. Have you been so with you only been collecting the last year? How did you find out about Gridiron? Did you just come across them in the pages, or did you?
Yeah, when I first started seeing some people interested in my stuff on social media, I immediately started joining groups of, okay, where can I get inspiration? Where can I see other people doing this? Like, where's the community at? So I joined. I don't remember which groups. I'm part of a bunch of them now. So whichever ones were first, and yeah, I'm sure people were posting like something about Gridiron. I don't remember the first thing I saw or anything like that, but you see a couple of their things, you're like, yeah, okay, I got to check this out. I got to have some of this stuff because they do a fantastic job. I've not had anything from them that I'm disappointed in.
And hats off to you, because I have been seeing you. Like 2 weeks ago, I really didn't know anything about you until I saw that Tomahawk video. But as I watched those videos and started talking to Mike about you, and we started talking about your stuff on the show, I've really seen a lot of your stuff in the groups and on social media. I started following you on Instagram, so you are doing a really good job trying to get yourself out there, man. So I wanted to give you your props for that.
Thank you.
That's pretty much all I had, Mike. Is there anything you wanted to add or ask him before we get into the show and tell?
No, man. Everything was pretty much, man, across the board, man. I thought that was great. I got a few questions about the 3D printing stuff, but that could be asked really, man, when we're up. And be honest with you, I don't have shit to say. You did a great job, man. Look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back out of the camera when it's time to do this, so the screen can get a little bigger for the viewers. But I'll still be able to look and see you guys, man. I can come in and out, as one. So no, whatever you want to show, Chaz or Chris, you want to show those boxes. I want to see those boxes as well, man. I'll let you guys do your thing.
Yeah, I'll start off, Chaz, and then you can go on to there. Because I wanted to thank you too, man. I ordered the devilfish and the control panel for the Cobra defense post. But I want to thank you, man, because you included 2 gifts. You included some stands, and you included these boxes, man. These are just so freaking cool, man. Where did you get the idea to do these right here?
I was trying to think of something, and there are other people out there that do them, and I had no idea at the time. And people can believe me about that or not. I really wanted to do a Christmas tree. So I was like, for Christmas, like, let me do a tree. And I was looking around, trying to design my own, and nothing looked good. So I'm like, all right, what can I do besides a tree? Well, I can do gifts. And then I'm looking at gifts. I'm like, well, that's silly. Why would I print like wrapping paper and shit on them? Like, looking around, and that came to me. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I can do that. Like, I've designed packaging. I went out and got all the individual photos and stuff, and I can, I know how to put it together where I can fold it right and all that shit. And the things that I've seen other people out there, I think I've not ordered anybody else's, like on Etsy and stuff. I don't think any of them have anything inside. I think they're just like a thick cardstock or something and just folded, glued, and shipped out, which is cool. It's more maybe original, I guess. But I wanted mine to last, and that you could stack up or whatever. Like, it's a full on it, man.
Oh, so that's plastic?
Yeah, inside is plastic, and then I wrap and glue the exterior, and then I go over it with Mod Podge to seal it all in. So I mean, that thing should last for decades.
That's what I was wondering, because most of the time when you have things like that, say like a Star Duster with the cereal box, it's mostly time fold and insert type ordeal. But that is key right there. I think you went a great way with that, because that's durable, especially in a collection where that might be put in storage away. Like me, like I have not thousands of bins, but I have a lot of bins that's fodder on top of fodder, and if it's cardboard, I don't care, what it is, going to get picked up and all that, and that can go right in bins. It's basically durable. So that's one of that's the question I wanted to know right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as the gifts, the black bag thing was a Black Friday thing, so it was a mystery bag. Didn't go over as well as I thought it would. Not a lot of people were all that crazy about it, or I didn't explain it right either way. So you got that because you ordered over 150, but every order that anyone orders, I throw something in for free. It's on my packing slip, automatically prints it every time, a free gift. So usually it's a figure plate or something small. It'll depend on how much you order. You know, you spend $20, like you're not getting $100 worth of free stuff. But you spend more. I'll give you more stuff. Like I'd much rather people be happy with what they're getting. And I know if the few times where other companies have done that for me, of hey, here's a free gun or whatever, something small. Like I really like that. So I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Like I want to pass that on to other people. That stuff, you know, it doesn't cost me a ton to print a little figure plate. And by all means, then someone else has something for free. And so I throw something for free in everything.
No, that's a great idea, Chaz. I do window cleaning, hence the name NC Window Cleaning, aka the Window Viper. But I also do power washing. Basically, I go to people's houses and detail their houses like you would a car or a storefront, a restaurant. But whenever I'm at somebody's house, I always try to do the same thing. I try to find something while I'm there to clean for free just to show my appreciation. So, you know, that's good business, man. The other thing he threw in, Mike, were these stands, and pretty good size, man. You know, very similar to like a Battleverse size. And it's got four holes. And just to show you, you know, I got Budo on it. So, you know, I got, you know, it's holding them pretty good, man. It's not like you put it on, you know, you use some figure stands, you put the figure on there and the shit just keeps falling off, man.
Correct.
It's on there pretty good, nice and solid, man. I like that.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like a lot of your smaller products, man, those are key. To be quite honest with you, from the things I've seen, especially the additions to the defense posts, like the porta potties, you know, the stalls that's in there. I mean,
that was a creative idea, man. That was
that was.
Hey, I got to give most of those ideas to customers. That I think the first one I did was the individual little doors, and I thought that was cool. And as soon as I did that, guys were like, "Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Hey, can I get this?" And so I just started making a list. I'm like, "All right, like I'll see what I can do and what I can't do." And yeah, one of them is a freaking potty. I was like, "All right, well." So I did the two different versions with the urinals and the regular one that has like a prison toilet and a little sink next to it. Like, yeah, I mean, if that's what people want, like I'll make a freaking toilet.
But see, Mike, you know what I hear when I listen to this dude? I hear a smart businessman. I mean, it seems like you've really taken what you learned from running your Snap-on business and you're applying it to here. You know, me and Mike, we found your stuff. We didn't know nothing about you, but we were going through your website and we weren't trying to knock your shit. You know, I thought we were very respectful, but you took what we said and implemented it. Your customers are coming to you and saying, "Hey, bro, I like what you did with this. Can you do that?" And you're taking what the customer wants and trying to figure out a way to make it work for you. So that's what's up, bro. Keep listening. You know, you give the people what they want, and the people are going to keep coming back to you. And speaking of the defense post, here's this, and I love the weathering on this, man. You know, I don't know if you see that right here at the bottom. What's that?
You were the first one to order one in black.
Okay.
Usually the gray ones, I'll do a little rust and stuff in there too. And I tried it on a little piece of black to test. Like you can't see it at all. So I just did a little extra like silver weathering and stuff on there for you instead.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. And I'm going to get some of the other stuff to build. I got 6 of the Cobra Defense Post. So I've only opened up 1, but I'm going to get some more stuff from you. And I think I can make a pretty big facility, but they had the little peg holes right here. The camera's not really picking it up.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it plugs in really nice. I mean, you got those holes really nice. It's real nice and snug, man. It's not like you put it on and it falls right off. I mean, it fits in there nice and taut. So we got that, and then for the coup d'etat, I got the bad boy right here. Look who's coming to town. Check this out. Got my beachhead. Let me take him off. I thought this beachhead looked so good with it, man, with that army green.
Yeah, absolutely matches right up.
That's a gridiron loadout right there, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was one of their first ones. But here's the Devilfish. And I got it Army Green because I do have a feeling that Classified probably will make this, Chaz.
Yeah, me too.
And it's so iconic, man. You know, I'm definitely gonna buy it. Even if I would have bought an orange one from you, I still would have bought an orange one from Classified. So I figure if I went this route, I would still have something that was still a little original to my collection.
Sure.
But, you know, it's got the magnets on the motor. And tell us about this green. What were you telling me about the green right there? So what's the concept with this right here?
So this is a file that I got off of, like I said, this was the first file I ever downloaded. And it is 100% based on the original 80s toy. Like someone just took the file for the 80s toy, the 3D file, and just blew it up. That comes with good things and bad things, but with the engines, that's what the original engine did. And there is no rhyme or reason to the way that looks. So I was going through it because a lot of stuff on there now I've completely redesigned and changed from the original file. So in my thought, I was like, well, maybe I can just redesign this whole engine, make it look real. And looking up the photos and that and stuff, that onboard or offboard boat engines aren't super exciting.
Right.
There's not a lot to look at and call out. So it's like, all right, well, this is G.I. Joe. Maybe it's laser powered like their weapons, and it's got some kind of glow in there from whatever they're using for it that makes these things go super fast. I'm like, yeah, that I can do that effect. I've been working on that, and it made sense with the design and layout in there of like, yeah, this makes more sense in my head than this is a working engine that's got pistons in it, because it doesn't look anything like that in my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this makes sense, and I like the way that looks and it's cool. And if you really hate it for whatever reason, you can pop those covers on and never see it.
No, it's really good. And anytime you can, you know, add some detail like that, you know, that those colors really pop, man, especially in toy photography, man. That'll look really good with the right lighting and everything else. But the weathering, it's not really picking it up on my camera, man, but there is all kind of weathering on this, Mike.
Yeah, it's hard to even pick up in photos and stuff.
See right down the corner right there? It looks like it's got wear and tear, and that's exactly what I wanted, man. I wanted a Devilfish that looked like it's seen some action, man. It's been in battle. So,
and those big torpedoes on the bottom are magnetic too, if you haven't tried to take those off.
Yep, I noticed that. That's what I was going to say in a minute. Yep. And I love the seats too.
Hey, just let you know, I can still hear you and stuff. I just kind of peeled back so that it can blow up a little bit. But I'm looking, I'm just watching like I'm just watching in the audience. But as far as the Devilfish, you get more light when you hold it back a little bit because your light is catching it. Like right there, you can see kind of when you get close, you lose your light. And man, I don't know. I might have to throw that up on the table one day, man, and do an episode of that so everybody can really see the features, because
brother, what's mine is yours, bro. It's all good, man.
Yeah, because it does have a lot of weathering on it. You can really see it as far as some pictures I've seen on Instagram that you took in Chaz, and just other pictures where it's actually a photography going on and highlighting that. But it looks awesome, man. Be honest with you, I want to get it in hand and feel the durability of it and just see it in my hands up close and personal, man. You know,
sure.
But this week coming up, man, I'm probably going to put in an order for some of those smaller products I've been looking at on there, and just so I could, you know, just taste some of the product. I know I sound like a fiend right now, so I can just taste some of the product.
Hey, the first fix is for free, though. The first fix is supposed to be for free, Chaz. So.
I wouldn't even come with it. I'm coming with 20. I got 20.
Or you get a free gift in there, taste you on something else, man.
Speaking of pictures, though, I don't know if maybe you can add it in the edit, but and if you can, that's fine. I'll explain it here. But I did take a picture of this and send it to Mike as soon as I got it. And believe it or not, man, this thing is almost exactly the same size as an All Striker. So
yes, I do have that picture, and that's big. It's just funny, like with vehicles, like every time I've seen a 1/12 scale vehicle, when you see it on camera or even a picture, it doesn't do justice to when you actually have it in hand. That's why I say I would like to actually see that in hand, because The R-Striker is not small. The Stinger is not small, but those are smaller vehicles, you know, in G.I. Joe. But once you get them in hand, being in their 112 scale, they're like, you know, an infant, basically.
Right.
The size of one.
So, one thing I was going to suggest to you, man, because you know your name is GI Customs and you are in the GI Joe world now, but you talk about branching off and going into Marvel Legends, and that's cool, bro. I like that. Something else you could do though too, man, is there's other things that we need in the GI Joe world that we don't have. You could do like for instance, for the Marine Maritime, you could do like Zodiac rafts or stuff like that. The Dreadnoughts need motorcycles. I mean, there's other stuff that's not necessarily GI Joe IP that but you come up with. I think I talked to you about maybe doing like coming up with some kind of trailer for. I talked to Mike about coming up with a trailer to mount this on, so it's almost like towed behind the Vamp or the All Striker. Man, wouldn't that be sick? Basically,
fill those gaps. There are gaps, and if you got a filler in there, people will definitely gravitate towards that. We do it all the time in this community because there's a bunch of gaps in this community. I mean, it's not now. You know, these other companies are starting to catch on, you know, as far as doing things, man, but still, it's not like there's a super huge industry circulating this thing here, man.
Yeah. And I can see things as I hope I'm wrong, but it seems like Hasbro's going to start slowing down on G.I. Joe stuff and classified. Like I said, I hope that's not the case because I want to keep going. But I can see from a business standpoint, if they're going to slow down, the vehicles are going to take the first hit. It's going to be the tooling for those vehicles is so much more expensive than the tooling for a figure. So if they have to take cuts in the GI Customs area of Hasbro, they're going to cut out the vehicles first. So I could see that happening, and then there's a bigger hole for the rest of us to fill as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, as far as on the vehicle wise, I know most definitely I'm gonna mess with you on that Tomahawk. And then that's why I was like, when you said the area you in, because I've been looking at that Night Raven too, but you was like, it's only for pickup because it's too huge. I was like, I wonder where he's at. But Ohio, it's not bad. It's not bad. That's like a dream project right there, that Night Raven.
So the guy in California is having me ship it.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna try it. And I told him, I was like, hey man, it's too big for shipping. He's like, yeah, but I'm in California. I'm not getting out there. I was like, all right, well, the only way I can do it is I'm going to have to ship it in pieces, and it's going to have to be in separate boxes, and shipping is going to be expensive. Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't eat that cost on those. You know, I mean, it's going to be $50 a box easy to ship that out there and protect it. So I was like, you know, if you're up for that, I'll try. Like I got no problem trying to put it in a box for you and shipping it and seeing how it goes. So I'll let you know, but you know, an extra $150 in shipping is nothing small to swallow, in my opinion.
No, it's not really. The thing with me is I might can make it work for me because I got a box truck company, so I might just go out there, grab a load, throw it in the back of a 26-foot box truck. It damn sure fit in there, and take it, you know, and take it back, man. But that's something kind of far out there for me because hey, look, I'm not knocking on the price. It will cost that much, like $1,200 for a Night Raven because it's huge. Well, it looks like it's about 5 feet.
Yeah, about 5 feet. I mean, like I said, I've only laid it out in parts and kind of, you know, not fully assembled it. But that table I had it sitting on that picture was a 6-foot table.
Yeah, that was a 6-footer. I looked at it. I was like, yo, there's a bifold in the middle right there. I was like, that's a 6-foot table right there. So that's crazy. It doesn't serve justice whenever you see something in a picture. I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. You stand that motherfucker up, it's just about as tall as me.
No doubt.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, all my prices, because I know everyone, not everyone, I suppose. I shouldn't say that. I've had multiple people comment of, oh, these prices are ridiculous. This is crazy. And like, one, I put all my stuff from day one into a spreadsheet. And I've got it marked down to like, okay, it's going to take this many grams of filament. This is how much a gram of filament costs based on the rolls that I'm using. Like I've got it all formulated out. And all of that goes to, well, this is if everything prints perfect. The first time I don't have any waste. I don't have any bad prints, which never happens. I always hope it does, but it never happens that way. So all my stuff's put in the exact same formula, exact same spreadsheet. And when it comes out at that cost, it comes out at that cost.
It's basic common sense and arithmetic.
And it's like, oh, well, yeah, this is big. Like it's $1,200. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to buy that. Like, I can't sell it, especially customized. I can't sell it for less than that.
It's basic common sense and arithmetic.
If no one's going to buy it at that, like, that's okay. But I'm not going to, do myself a disservice just because somebody thinks it's expensive. It's like, okay, if I never sell any more of those, like, so be it. Like, that's fine. But I can't in my right mind and trying to run a business of any kind, make things much less than what I have them up there.
And then as far as your labor that you got put in, look, I definitely totally understand, because it's cost of materials, then it's labor, then I gotta get paid. You know what I'm saying, for what I did. So it's like that all the way across the board. But unfortunately, with the internet, man, it's a lot of peanut gallery.
And there's always gonna be somebody to complain. Somebody's always got something to say, man.
Mm-hmm. See, like what I do. And what Chris did, we don't have a crowd of people saying like, hey, what I'm saying, because that's not part of what we got going on, as far as the internet attached to it. And I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I have a whole list of the next videos I'm gonna do on YouTube, and one of the next ones is gonna be going over cost. A lot of it's gonna be specific to me because that's my experience. But it's going to be kind of general stuff of, hey, anyone 3D printing any of this stuff, these are the things they got to look at. Something like the Raven, I've got it pulled up here on my second screen, just print time based on what my slicer has told me for a 3D print. And this is if everything just prints. There's no stop time. There's no fails. There's no anything. Like, there's no even me pulling stuff out of the printer and putting something else back in. It's almost 12 days of solid print time. Just to print all the parts. So that's it. One of those fails, some of those individual prints, like one wing as big as I can print it. I think the biggest print's almost 20 hours of one part. So if that's 20 hours and that fails on the last hour and a half while I'm freaking sleeping, there's a day lost, and I got to throw all that away and start over again.
And not only that, but you got all of your material and cost and that, but you got the wear and tear of the 3D printer too, because that required maintenance at some time. You got your original cost of buying the 3D printer, you got your maintenance, and then at some point you're gonna have to upgrade or get a second machine. So that's a cost too. That's not really in the individual like devilfish, but it is a part of it that's spread across all your builds that you have to account for. So, I mean, you got the right attitude. It sounds like you got the right attitude, Chaz. And a lot of people, when people attack them on something, they get all defensive. But you're straight to the point. Hey, this is what it is. It is what it is. So,
hey, I attribute all of that to the last 6 years in Snap-on. when you're going in and you're talking to people about the money they owe you, and you have to take their stuff if they don't give you money, or I had shop owners screaming obscenities in my face, like all kinds of just crazy stuff. You go thick skin pretty quick. So some Yahoo on the internet commenting on something that I know they don't really know anything about. I'm always up for taking criticism. I'm always up for improving myself and learning on all of it. But I also know when to just kind of, chuck things to the side and be like, all right, you go have your temper tantrum over there in the corner. I'm okay.
Have you been to any toy shows yet? Are you thinking about hitting the circuit in 2026 and going to any of the toy shows, Chaz?
So the only toy show I've been to so far doesn't count on the circuit. The big old Mansfield toy show I went to like 2 weeks ago. It was very small compared to anything else. However, I do already have a spot on the main floor on the corner for Joe Fest next year. So
yeah.
Good job.
That's that. If you don't do any of them, that is the one, and you'll fit right in. You'll definitely make a lot of connections and see a lot of people who probably even comment on your channel face to face, man. And it's just there's nothing wrong. Totally right.
Yeah, that'll be my one and done next year as far as bringing my stuff to it. I'd love to get to some just myself. But that'll be the one and done for next year. I think just like, hey, let's figure out how this goes, how the setup goes. You know, do I have enough product? Like just kind of figure all that stuff out first and then kind of take the next step from there, whatever that might be. Bro,
just build your clientele up, man, one at a time. You know, really, focus on selling the smaller stuff, and getting as many customers on the smaller stuff, and then building up your clientele to where you can start selling that one person, 3 or 4 of the bigger stuff a year. And then you get 10 to 20, 30 of those, man. And I think you'll be off to the races, man.
Yeah. Yeah. The big stuff is fun, but it also takes a long time. Like I'm everyone who orders a vehicle from me that's custom painted, and I know Seagram, we went back and forth a few times on, hey, here's where it is now, here's the communication. That wasn't just because I knew you were going to do it on the podcast or talk about it. I do that with everyone who orders a custom vehicle.
Okay.
So anyone I'm in communication. The guy that's waiting on the Tomahawk right now is deployed. He's not going to be back till January. And we've been talking back and forth. He's like, no, don't. He's like, put it off. My wife's already too crazy about all the stuff that's been coming in. Like, I don't need a big box there right now. A little bit. So like, the whole time I'm sending pictures like, hey, here's where it is. I got the parts printed. I like to keep that communication because I feel like all those customers, especially as they go up in price, are putting a lot of trust in me. Hey, here's all the money. I hope I get something on the other end. And when I have to tell them, hey, it's going to be 45 days, it's going to be 60 days, or I have 3 projects in front of yours, I'll get to it. I want to make sure that I'm keeping that line of communication open and like, hey, I've got your stuff printed. Like, here's the next 2 things I have going on, and then I'll get to yours or whatever it is. I want to make sure that that's going on because that's the way I would want it if I were in that position of I'd want to know just a little reminder. Like, I don't want to be told every day where everything's at, but something that like, oh, you still remember you have a project for me, right? Like, yeah. No problem.
Hey, that's the crazy thing about classified. Yo, this dude's in a full-on combat zone, and he's worried about what the fuck his wife is saying. Yep. don't sit in that box there. Yo, she's gonna fucking kill me.
It's universal. It's universal, man. We all dealing with the same shit, man.
Yeah, he got after me. The first video I put it up, and I remembered he was a helicopter pilot in the Army. So I was like, oh, this guy flies Chinooks, because I was thinking, oh, it's the same. Like. And he messaged me like a day after I posted, hey, man, I don't fly Chinooks. I fly Blackhawks. I'm like, oh, sorry, man. Like, I'll correct it in the next video. I got you. No problem. I just didn't remember.
Hey, so you said you got some stuff there too, don't you? You got some stuff you can show us, Chaz?
All right. Most of this stuff has not been seen directly. The one thing I've been working on, so I wanted to do at the same time I was building your Devilfish, I was printing my own off to the side that no one had ordered yet, but I was churning out the parts and stuff because I was working on improving and stuff at the same time with the different parts.
Okay.
So I wanted to do an orange one, but I didn't want to stick with just the plain orange. Like I know that's the classic one. There's other people out there that print just plain orange if you just want a toy orange one. So this isn't done yet. I haven't done any of the weathering on it, but I've done an orange camo.
Oh, dude, look at that.
So nothing like these things aren't glued yet. This is still on here. So it's not final. It doesn't have the engines on it, but that camo and stuff looks pretty cool.
Bro, that does look
pretty good. I wasn't really sure where it was going there for a minute.
You know what I really like about the Devilfish I got in that one? I like the brown seat and the green seat in mine. I really love the way that looks. I mean, that looks like brown leather, Yeah. Looks really good, man.
Hey, I had to chime in for that one. That shit looks fantastic. Hey, you're almost kind of like a one-up on Gridiron because you actually do something custom. What you got to get from them is what they offer.
Yeah, so, everybody gets it. Whatever gets put up on the website, Sam, Bobby, and Mike get all the same thing.
Yeah, so I had to chime in on that. That's awesome that you could, you can customly do something for somebody if they want it.
Well, as far as vehicles go, that's the niche I want to be in. So I don't want to compete directly. I know we're all competing somehow. I don't want to compete directly with Gridiron. Like, they make amazing vehicles in their own right. I really enjoy customizing them, even to the point where when Seagram, you ordered the the army green color.
Mhm.
Dude, I was so happy about that. I was like, all right, finally, like it's not just the normal colors. I've had a guy reach out to me and ask me, I don't know if he felt like he was being rude or whatever. He's like, hey, I want a Tomahawk, but I want it in different colors. I'm like, yes. Like,
Cool.
what colors do you want? Like, I've done the tan and gray multiple times now. Like, it's fantastic. I've done improvements every time. So I just try to improve. It keeps myself like engaged in it and doing stuff. I'm like, if you want a different color, like, yes, like send me different colors. Like, I think it'd be super fun to do it in a different color. So
you're firing on all cylinders right now, because I was debating on that. I was like, should I get this Tomahawk in a regular color, or how about I just go with, because that's when I customize, that's what I do. I don't ever try to aim for classic G.I. Joe shit. I just aim for whatever's in my brain, what I want to paint this vehicle up as, man. So I am glad you said that, and I'm going to back out and let you talk now.
Get out of here, bro. We got this.
All right. So the other things I got are more for scale. So they were parts of the Raven. So on the original Raven, there's the little missile pods on the side, look like little triangles.
Yep.
So this is the missile pod.
Oh my God.
So this is the yellow. And it's not coming out really good, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't have
this, man.
Gigantic hands, but I don't have small hands. I mean, this thing is huge, and that's just the missile pod.
Wow.
I got back up though. I got just the front, and it's not put together. But that's just the nose.
Oh my God.
Everything just kind of sitting there. I mean, it's gigantic. It's so hard to show.
Holy shit.
Dude.
Yeah, it's so hard to show, man. In a picture, like I can't take a good picture of this all together.
No, you can't. I would have never thought, just from the picture you did take on the table, there's no way in my head that that's what I thought we were looking at.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
So let me ask you this, man. Have you seen, we put it on, I don't know how much, do you watch the Straight Savage podcast every week? Do you catch
not every week. I catch it when I can.
We got to let you go then,
so
man. Interview's over. We got to let you go. No.
Damn it. I mean, I watch it all the time.
All right, there you go. You can stay. So one week we Marvel Legends, there's a guy called One Oak Customs that did the blue. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the X-Men plane.
Yeah. So that's about the
amazing.
same size then, right? Is that?
Yeah, and if I recall right, seeing some of his pictures, he was selling that for around $1,200 at one of the toy shows. I think it's $1,000, $1,200, and it wasn't painted. And I'm not knocking him at all, but when people question, why is this Raven $1,200 painted? Like,
yeah, well, I think
maybe
that
it should be $1,200 just plastic. I don't know.
Well, I don't think people comprehend the size of it, man. I mean
it's hard to show.
Now, I did have another question for you. So, like that Tomahawk, what color did he want to get it in, if you don't mind me asking?
He wanted to get it, and he hasn't pulled the trigger on it yet. So I'm hoping he does, because I really want to do it. He wants to get it in a winter camo, like white with gray and black camo. I thought that would be freaking sweet.
All right, cool. Because that was my next question. So the Fans Hobby. Have you heard of what Fans Hobby is, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they got the
Airhawk.
Yep, and they got the one that they just did in the same concept, white and gray. Yep. But they got the canopy part, the glass part. It's like a bluish color.
Yeah.
So are you able to do stuff like that yet?
Yep. Yeah.
So if I wanted a Tomahawk in winter colored white and gray, you could do the glass in a blue hue.
Yeah. Let me get a glass here real quick.
Mike, that's awesome, bro. You hear that?
So this one still needs a few polishing and stuff, but you guys were asking about transparency. Like this one, like I said, it's not 100%, but it's getting closer. This is the one I'm doing.
Okay.
I mean, all of them, and I know I don't have good examples up because I forgot to take pictures of the one I sent out. They'll have clear resin. So all the glass stuff will be clear resin.
So being that he said a blue shade, can you also tint as well?
Yeah. So it's just a matter of whatever color of resin I buy, I can print in that. So I've done some. I haven't polished any, but I've done some in like a smoke black. I have some of those ready for. It was actually one of the little drones for the Raven. I was printing those by themselves for a little bit, and I've done some of those glass in like a smoked smoked black tinted glass kind of look.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. But I was just I didn't want to keep chiming in and breaking you up, but man, when I seen that Night Raven head, wow, you don't want to say that around people. When I seen it was huge. So, but it's like, yo, that.
I said, clip that real quick.
But man, that is awesome, man. That definitely, when I seen the size of that and know how big that plane is going to be, that's definitely a grail right there. That might be the piece to end all my vehicle collections right there. Like, yo, this is it right here. This is it. I might as well go big. But that Tomahawk, being that you mentioned that, and you can do it in multicolors. I was thinking that really yesterday. I said, let me just stick with the G.I. Joe. Then I was like, I wonder if he custom paints, because I might want to not have the regular G.I. Joe sign, do it, alter it, put it somewhere in my brain canyon, how G.I. Joe should look on there, man. So I definitely got some ideas. The Tomahawk for sure, but then that Night Raven, that might be a grail piece. That is awesome. Let me ask you this: do you have to print it in the file where it's that big, or say if you wanted to knock it down a foot, could you do that?
Yeah, I could do that. The Tomahawk's a weird one because the size that it is, it's already gigantic. I don't know if you looked on my site if you put the rotors on from tip to tip on the rotors is 50 inches.
Yes, it's about 4 feet, right?
You know, the actual helicopter is a little smaller because the rotors stick out. But I've heard of a few guys doing that in like 115%. So making it a little bigger, I guess the guys fit a little nicer. But it's done to the scale and the same fitment to the figures as the original. Okay. So even when you get that, like I said, it's already big, and I don't upscale it because I'm like, it just gets out of hand. Mm-hmm. The figures in the front fit like the original figures did, so they're tight.
Well, basically with the Tomahawk, I like the size of that, just that Night Raven. That's what you're talking about, like as far as knocking that down a little bit. Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, anything I can scale. Mm-hmm. When you scale stuff, it's more about the fitment of different parts. So even like the Devilfish, part of that original design, so they just took the little 80s version and made it bigger, right?
Correct.
Well, all the tolerances around the missiles, it got bigger too. And all of a sudden, then the missiles don't clip on because all the tolerances that were, 0.02 millimeter are now 10 times that. And now the missiles don't clip on. And so I that's why I changed them to magnetic. So I'm like, well, this is silly. Like I either have to glue these in or nobody can put the missiles on underneath. So I just got rid of it altogether and put magnets in there. So even scaling stuff down, I could do it, but it might take some trial and error of, well, now all these pegs that are supposed to fit in these holes and connect everything together, now they're shrinking down and it might not quite fit the same. And I might have to adjust different things. It's not I can't do it kind of thing. It just might take longer of making sure I've got all those until that scale is good. And then from then forward, that scale is fine, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, totally makes sense.
It seems like that'd be some tedious work right there.
Oh yeah, because basically you gotta retrofit, kind of customize, really customize on it, man. But be honest with you, shit. I mean, that Night Raven was about 5 feet. I mean, what's the difference if it's 4.5 feet? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the difference? So, but just questions to ask.
What about a well? Have you done a well yet? And have you actually printed a well?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Fuck yeah, I want to see
it. It's not going to all fit in the frame.
It's like Christmas morning, man.
Yeah, right, man. That was that Devilfish he had was dope. Wow. Let me knock myself out of here so we can see it like even bigger.
Man.
Yeah, it's huge, man.
So is this your personal well, or did you make this for somebody that's
no, it's just mine. Here, hold on, let me.
Is that one done, or you still got stuff to do to it?
No, so that was the first one I printed of that. It's mine until it's done, then I'll sell it. So it's just printed parts. And this was before I moved my studio down. So I was printing and building it on the kitchen table. It's the only place I had. So when I started printing parts, so a bunch of it's put together. The bottom, because it's so big, is in, I think it's 8 different pieces. And the way it went together, there was, in my opinion, there's no way to make it stay well. No matter how I was going to glue it or anything, when it would get to the end customer, if you held that thing wrong, it was going to buckle in the middle. So I went through and I plastic stapled all of them together. So I don't know if you've messed with that at all. It's a little tool. You put a staple up in and it heats it up. So you can heat it and push it down into the plastic, and then you pop it out. And it actually puts metal, like a woven metal staple in between different plastic seams. So that bottom is together. And I've probably shot myself in the foot on that. I did that to try and maneuver it and handle it myself. And now I can't take the bottom apart to paint it. I'm going to have to paint it. So that's on my list. Because it's not going to a customer, it just keeps getting pushed down the list of, hey, I want to do this. There's some gaps and stuff. I need to put some filler in, paint it all up, detail it.
That's what I was noticing. It didn't look like it didn't have any stickers or paint on it yet. That's just the color it was printed. Correct. Okay.
Yeah, and even the bottom was brown, and then so Steve's Toys that did that file. He does a great job at modeling all of it. The one criticism that I've even told him on is he doesn't. If you were to order his files and get them in, there is no explanation as to what anything is. So outside of it, like whale bottom, like that, I was printing that piece. I'm like, all right, well, where's this piece freaking go? So some of the pieces I was printing, I didn't know needed to be in brown or the bottom. I was just doing it as a base color brown, painted black later. So some of the colors aren't right because I was printing it out in green. I'm like, oh crap, this part goes to the bottom. I didn't know it went to the bottom. So those are the things you learn as you print these of. One thing, connectors. He just labels a file connector and has one connector in there. Well, how many of these do you need? I'm like, I don't know how many we need until I print out all the other parts and then go back and figure out how many connectors you need. And so the first time I print something, it takes a lot longer than the next time, because then I just have the file set up like, all right, this already has the 25 connectors I need, print, go. So a lot of that one was figuring things out of how does this go together? Where does this part go? Like even knowing the 80s version a little bit, it's not 100% the same, and it's all chopped up into pieces. So you don't always know looking at it exactly where that piece is going to go on the end product until you've printed out and tried to put it together.
Now, will that have the sled and the motorcycle and all that too, or is that?
It's got both. The motorcycle for that one at least never came out right for me, so I just got rid of the motorcycle.
Okay.
It is in the file. If someone actually orders one of those, I'll have the motorcycle in there. I'll figure it out one way or the other and give it to them.
Well, the original motorcycle was a piece of shit anyways. It was like a little. It wasn't that. I never could get it to work.
A little box with wheels. Yeah. I mean, if someone wants the original toy the way it looks, I'll put it in there, no problem. If someone wants something different, I'd be glad to try and figure out something different and look nicer.
Maybe a dirt bike, man. Like design some kind of dirt bike to go on there. That would be pretty cool.
Sure.
I'm sure it'll be a lot more, but that fuck it, man. If you're gonna do the well, you might as well go ahead and do it up, man. You know. Yeah. What was the price on that well? I forgot. How much were you selling that well for?
I don't remember. Hold on a second.
I think it's somewhere around like 4 something, which is actually a great price. So maybe a little bit more, maybe like 5.
No,
it's $850 for the paint.
I lied.
And then I think it's 4 something for just parts, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew I seen it somewhere. I think 6 something maybe for just the grayscale parts or something like that.
Yeah, and in all those parts, I know I don't show it well. It's in whatever color you want.
Okay.
Like I know I post the picture on there because I wanted to differentiate on the site as you're looking through things, what's painted and what isn't. So it's real easy to tell, like, oh, this is just parts or this is custom painted. Yeah. So I graded out and put the words across it and stuff to make it real obvious what's what. But I'll print it in whatever color. If you're like, hey, I just want these parts and I want the top, I want the original colors. I'll print them in the original colors for you, no problem.
Hey, you know what? I got the website pulled up. Is there anything we want to look at?
It's your call, bro. I'm down to.
Okay.
What I think is interesting, though, Mike, is there's so many people that we've met at the shows over the years, going to like Joe Fest and just being a part of the community that do 3D printing. And what I find fascinating, man, is a lot of them start out with like the guns and stuff like that. And you were just like, fuck it, man. I'm going to go print me a Tomahawk.
That's what I wanted. It was totally selfish when I started out. It was, I want this thing. I'm going to print it. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then when other people started chiming in, like, hey, I want that too. I'm like, all right.
Click on the snake armor, Mike. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So there's 4 different attachments plus a combo pack. You get all of them. I just designed those over this past week. And again, that was a customer asked me. You know, like I got a message a couple weeks ago of like, hey, are you going to do anything for the snake armor? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what kind of stuff do you want to see? And he had a whole list, and there's some more stuff that I may or may not get to down the line. But he said, more hand attachments. I'm like, all right, I'll see what I can come up with.
And that's
what about
filling in those gaps right there. That was perfect, really.
Blast effects, the ones that are shown here are from the Rattler. Right now, I'm not doing any blast effects myself, but anything that should have a blast effect, in my opinion, I make sure fit some kind of other blast effect. So I specifically made sure those holes were the right size to fit the Rattler, and I think the little ones that came with it are the same peg size, so they'll fit in there. There's like 5 different blast effect peg sizes depending on what you're putting it in. So I can't make it fit everything, but.
So why don't you want to get into blast effects if you don't mind me asking? Is it just something you don't want to do?
I hate working in resin, and that's really what it needs to be in. In my opinion, to get that little bit of transparency and translucency is resin.
Okay. And
if I didn't have to do, in my opinion, I have to do the glass. Like I wouldn't be happy if the glass wasn't clear on the other vehicles. If I didn't have to do that, I wouldn't mess with resin at all. It is a pain in the ass. A completely different print process. It's messy. It's toxic. You can't have stuff sitting around. It makes my whole studio smell up. Like I run that thing only when I have to, when I need glass for something, and then I shut it down and clean it up.
So you're printing in plastic?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
What do you think?
Well, I know a lot of sometimes I thought people would, because I've never attempted a 3D print or anything. I thought people use a certain percentage of resin and a certain percentage, like that, like science experiment shit. Like, so I didn't think
a little bit of that. We got it.
So wow.
Yeah, so almost everything's in they call it an FDM printer. So it's a normal PLA plastic. It's easy to print. It's not, none of it's meant, and I have the little caveats, I think, on the site somewhere. Every order comes with a little sheet that says, it shouldn't go outside, can't withstand crazy temperatures, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it's all FDM printed, so that just means it's a needle that pushes plastic out and does circles or squares or whatever and builds it up in layers. Mm-hmm. Where resin is a pool full of liquid resin, and it dips it down in and hardens one layer at a time to build it the opposite way.
Yeah, see, I told you I knew it was science experiment shit.
Resin was fun for about the first day and a half because it was cool and new, and then I was like, oh, this shit sucks. But there's no other way to get true clear glass. I tried real hard in FDM, and you just can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Man, I got a lot of questions answered today, man, because I was like, I thought 3D printing was just something else that they printed in. So if it's plastic, so it should be pretty durable to last if you don't put it in a place to be damaged for a while, right? Like shit,
yeah,
decades.
Yeah, well, that's something that I didn't even think about. I heard from somebody for Joe Fest. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Joe Fest. I'm going to take a bunch of stuff. And they're like, oh, hey, don't make my mistake. Don't get a box truck. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, in the back of the box truck, it's not temperature controlled. Apparently, he took a bunch of plastic stuff to show somewhere, and it's 100-something degrees in the back of that truck. And when he got it there, everything was slightly warped. And the plastic hadn't melted to the point of like liquid, because you're talking a couple 100 degrees, but like it got enough where it, all the straight pieces started bending. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, okay. It is hot in Augusta that time of year, man. It's close to 100 degrees outside. Yeah. So yeah, in a box truck, you're probably talking 110, 115, man.
Yeah. It'll melt it. So I'm gonna get a Mercedes Sprinter or something where I can at least pump some cold air in the back and just drive straight there and take it the hell out into the hotel.
You should be able to get busy in a Sprinter. Yeah, especially that Mercedes joint. That has a lot of room. I wouldn't mind having a couple of those, man, once I expand a little bit. Because that is a nice cargo van to use to move shit around in. Let me go out of here.
You're doing that, Mike. You when you update the site, you had the Devilfish with some blast effects. What blast effects are those? Is that blast effects
from the bigger army green Iron Man from Marvel Legends?
Oh, okay.
I think they were actually his backpack blast effects. Or they were meant for. I'm almost positive they came with that guy. I honestly, I really don't like blast effects. Nothing on display outside of that Devilfish has a blast effect in it anywhere. I just kind of take them out of the package and throw them in a bin. And so when I needed something that fit that, I just pulled that bin out, went through it, and found those and popped them in.
Do you have an APC that you printed? Yeah. Can we see one of those?
Yeah, it doesn't have the wheels and shit on it, but I got the body put together.
All right, let me pull this down. Let me so we can see that.
Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to go back.
You're fine. No, you're fine, because that whatever y'all wanted to see on that, I was willing to pull it, but let me just pull it down.
Yeah. So, hold on one second, Chaz. We're gonna get you on the big screen. No, I mean, just don't put. Man, that thing is. Look at that, man. So that was the first vehicle that I got as a kid. In fact, my mom was here today, and every time she comes over, she's like, "Did you get something else, honey?" and she was talking about my collection as a kid, and that was the first vehicle they got me, was the APC, because it also acted kind of as like you could store your figures in there too.
Yeah.
And transport.
Yeah, it's got a full interior and stuff in it. And this one, so every file I put together, I try to upgrade. And so this one, the wheels, I'm actually going to do metal axles. They had plastic ones that I suppose work, but to me, if I don't think I'm going to be happy with it, I'm not going to give it to a customer. So to me, the plastic ones are just asking for them to break at some point.
So how do your wheels feel? Because Gridiron, they look good, but they're a little hard, and then Hasbro, they're like real rubbery. Where are your wheels somewhere in between, or are they more like Gridiron, or where are your wheels?
It depends. For the APC, those are solid plastic, so they'll be a lot closer to Gridiron.
Okay.
Some of them, the Night Raven, it will have rubbery wheels on it. It's printed out of a plastic called TPU.
Mm-hmm.
Now I tried for the life of me to print TPU, and that had nothing but problems with it. So I have a local guy, that anytime I need TPU stuff, somehow his printer's set up perfect for it and runs it perfectly, and he'll print it for me. The last couple of times I've just traded him, like bought a roll of TPU, like, here, you can have this whole roll if you'll print me these 2 tracks or something that I need for this thing.
Okay.
And he's cool with it. He's like, yep, no problem.
It's always nice to know somebody, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I met him through one of the groups. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I don't know if he ordered something from me or whatever, and found out he was like down the road, and he works literally like 5 minutes from me, from my house, and then lives maybe 10, 15 minutes away. So
yeah, that's how me and Mike met, man. I started watching one of his videos about three and a half, maybe 4 years ago, man. And he was going to some of the local stores doing like showing him buying stuff. I was like, well, damn, that looks like my city. Then started doing the research and found out not only did Mike live in my city, but we live within 10 minutes of each other. So it's crazy how things like that work out, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the community of this, for whatever, from the outside, seemed really small, and then when you get in it, you're like, oh shit, like there's a ton of people doing this stuff, like from all over the place, all different walks of life, all different ages, everything. And it's really cool to see.
And that's one of the best things I like about Joe Fest, man. When you go to Joe Fest, you walk in and you feel it in the atmosphere, man. It's almost like being at home. That's I feel like when I walk into Joe Fest, I'm at home because it's such a welcoming environment, man. But exactly what you just said is how Joe Fest feels when you're there. So I'm glad that you are going to that, man. I think that'll be a good look for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it.
Hey, well, Mike, man, it looks like we're at about an hour 30, man. What
Yeah, man. I've been looking at it, and it'd be a crying shame to cut this. Like, hey, it's time, guys, cut. And like, no, fuck that. Nah, hell no. Like, because it's so much good information being put out there, man. But just hey, if you got any more questions, or if that's it, I'll put the bow on it. I couldn't stop it at hey, this is hour and 15. And the only reason, man, because it just takes forever to upload, man. But whatever time it takes me to upload, it's totally worth it because there's a lot of information being put out there. There's a good guy who's his product is being put out there. I want him to shine, man. And this has been a great conversation, man. And I told you, it's just like, just kicking back and pretty much talking, man. And Chaz, you got a great spirit. You got a very welcoming spirit, man. And
word up.
I was glad to sit and talk with you, man, and actually get to know you, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it's been good getting to know the community in general, and guys like yourself to just sit and talk. It seems like everyone, the few people I have talked to so far, super chill, laid back. Like it just feels like part of the community, part of the family kind of deal. So I appreciate everyone, but you guys for taking your time and having me on here and listening to me and stuff. I mean, here I am just playing with toys and people want to listen to what I have to say. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, nah, man. Like, you definitely got a customer with me, man, because I was just finding out newer stuff that I was curious about, and before I could even ask the question, you went on and filled in the answer, like with the custom things like that devilfish and that like, man, there was a lot of times I was just like, whoa, and I'm glad people are seeing this in depth because we just had a conversation about your site 2 weeks ago, but now you're sitting up here with a dragonfly live, spinning it around and showing decks or head on the Night Raven. That's really blew my mind. That does 1,000% up, because now I actually see. I can almost see if I had it in my hand, and then looking at it up against your chest, I'm like, Jesus, man. So great, man. I like I said, I really appreciate you coming on, brother.
One last thing, do you have the Tomahawk nearby, or is that put up somewhere else?
I don't have it put together, but I can grab part of it.
Can we? Yeah, I'd love to see a piece of that before we go. And thank you for being so generous and showing us some of your product, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this is the front half. It's not quite as impressive as everything else I've shown. I should have done this in order.
No, but what I do like about this is you got it painted, man, and you got the stickers on it. So,
and I got.
If this is the one where this is the one that you've been working on in the video, the YouTube
Correct,
video.
Yeah. I've got one more video coming of it, and it'll be finished up this next week and going out to the guy.
So the way you do the content, all this in here inside of there is really, really detailed, man. I mean, you really take your time.
I didn't have the detail part in there because I was fitting glass for it, so the controls and shit aren't even in there.
Yeah, but you have shown that, haven't you, in the video
Yeah.
where you were painting that? I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. You got another piece that you can show?
Yeah, hold on. Here, we'll just connect these two together.
Take your time.
So there's actually three pieces, but these are the two main body. So there's still another tail piece that goes out, probably another 6 or 7 inches on there.
I mean, to me, that looks like something that Hasbro would make. If not, yours might even look a little better, man. From what I'm seeing, I mean, that is beautiful, man.
The big thing with any of the Hasbro stuff, and I say this just from coming from the toy industry, is what I try to do is bring the stuff that nobody's going to do. No Hasbro, no big box stores ever going to put the detail in like this because they can't. The amount of pad prints and details and stuff, every little hit of a color costs them so much. Mm-hmm. So every time, I mean, I was making little 64 scale die-cast cars and had to take pennies out of it and say, oh, well, this was supposed to be black and this was gray. We're going to turn them all black because that hits one time. I mean, we're talking little things. I can't imagine, a big vehicle and them saying like, oh, you got to take $10 out of this in production cost. I mean, you have to sacrifice a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I know. So even the devilfish, they come out with that, which I'd be real surprised if they didn't come out with the version of the orange devilfish.
Yeah.
It's going to be less detailed. Now I'll buy a shit ton of them and detail them up for people. I'm good with that. Like that'd be fun.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's one thing you did. So you bought a HasLab Rattler yourself, and then you customized it. Has that sold?
Too. Yeah.
Have they sold, or you still got them?
No, I still got that one. I did it more of I wanted to do a HasLab custom. So far all the HasLabs I have, I've just got one of because I got into the game later. So I was like, well, I really don't want to pay another $500 for his tank just to tear it apart and paint it unless somebody's asked me to do that for them. So I was able, when the Rattlers first came out, it was actually that guy I know that does the rubber printing for me. He's like, yeah, I ordered 3. I don't need them. Like, I'll give you one at cost. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I got a second one at cost. And then I was like, all right, well, here goes nothing. Like, I'll tear this thing apart and repaint it.
Well, that might be something good to take to Joe Fest too. One of those customs, because customs do good down there as well. What about the Snowcat? Since you're in it when the Snowcat, did you back the Snowcat?
Yep, I got the max on the Snowcats. I ordered 5.
Well, good for you. It's people like you that helped us get Flint and Lady J and everything else, man. So
yeah, my bank
we
account.
Appreciate you, sir.
We'll make that bank account back when they start coming in. I know, my sales pitch to my wife at least is, hey, I'm gonna spend this amount. I'm not gonna see any of it for a year, but I at least know if I keep one and I sell the other 4, I can make all my money back even if I do nothing to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna customize all the ones that I don't want, and I'll make more. It's business expense. I'm good.
I got 3. I was gonna get 5, but I ended up getting 3, and I won't be making money back on any of them, man. But that's good that you can make your money back, man. That's awesome, man. And really impressed with you too, like what Mike said. But I don't have anything else for you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate how open and transparent you've been, and again, thank you for getting my order to me in such a timely manner. Thank you for the gifts that you put in there.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you taking the criticism, and that's the first sign of somebody that wants to be successful. It's somebody that could take criticism and turn it around to actually implement it and do something better, man. So we appreciate your time and your energy, bro.
Yeah, man, and I will say this as well, man. Just appreciate you coming through. Where can people go to get these products? We know we going over, but if you just want to put your pitch out there, and also I believe I still have your link. I'll put the link in the description of this video so people can click on it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's gicustoms.com. And then if you search for GI Customs on YouTube, I'm on there. That's where all my videos are at. And same thing with social media. I know there's a couple other GI Joe Customs, and there's a couple of them that I like all of their work. They're all fantastic. I don't remember them being there when I first started.
Well,
so I know if things got changed or something, but there's one with the Z. There's one without a Z now. I don't know. If you just look GI Customs, I'm the only GI. If you don't add the Joe in there, I'm the only one that I'm aware of.
Yeah, there is a guy named Ferry the Workaholic that me and Mike are familiar with. He has been around for a while. He actually did a Road Pig custom for me about 4 years ago. So, but I'm not sure if he's always gone by GI Customs. But
yeah,
I
haven't seen that. I came across him as Ferry, but I don't know when he picked up the GI Customs. He's the one with the Z.
Yeah, I've been following him around too for a while. He does great work. He's in like the Netherlands or something like that, though, I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucked about it. When I did the order, it took forever to get over here, but it's all good, man. If you want something, you'll wait long enough. I mean, we wait all year for a HasLab, right? So,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, with that being said, people, I hope you enjoyed Chaz. Maybe, well, not maybe. Bring him back in the future, man, with some new products and so just a new thing he's coming across. Later on down the road, it was a great conversation. And like I said, if you guys are looking to get a hold of his website, not only does he make the big vehicles at special requests, but he also makes the small things that definitely need a lot of gap fillers. I see on his page, man. So definitely hit him up, man. We definitely want to spread love to those who well deserve it. There's guys out here who've been doing it, but there's other guys that's doing it too, man. So spread the love around, man, especially when they're doing a great job. And with that being said, until the next time, God bless. You guys be good out there. Appreciate you, Chaz.
Appreciate you guys.
Go on, get out of here! Who needs ya?
It's basic common sense and arithmetic.